Hey, welcome to Q&A, where you ask your questions on faith and life, and I do my best to give a biblical perspective. As always, you can ask questions on slido.com. Use the hashtag ALC23. We'd love to hear from you. Well, let's jump into today's question. My friend isn't a Christian, but has all the fruit of the Holy Spirit. So does the Holy Spirit produce these in everyone? That's a great question, because I think we all know people who are patient, who are gracious, who are faithful, who are joyful, who are loving, just as Paul talks about in Galatians chapter 5. So I can understand the question. I think it shouldn't surprise us that there are non-Christians who exhibit this type of character, if I could describe it that way, because remember, we're all made in the image of God, whether we're Christian or not. We're all made in God's image, and so all of us are able to reflect in some measure, the patience, the joy, the love, the kindness, the gentleness, the faithfulness, the self-control that is part of who God is. It's part of His character. But I want to say that it's not actually the same as what Paul talks about in Galatians 5. Because in Galatians 5 we read it, our Holy Spirit produces that fruit in us. So there's what Paul is talking about is something that happens after a person has become a Christian. When we become a Christian, what happens is we're filled with the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit will produce this fruit in us. So there's a qualitative difference between the natural patience, the natural joy, the natural kindness, the natural self-control, etc., in others, compared to what the Holy Spirit produces in those who are following Christ. So yes, any person can reflect something of the character of God, even though it's never going to be as much as God intends for those who are following Him. But we shouldn't confuse that with what the Holy Spirit does. When the Holy Spirit comes into a person's life, when we've decided to follow Jesus and He produces love in our life, it's a different quality of love compared to what the world knows. It's a quite significantly different. There's something about it which is radically different from the love that somebody who's not a Christian will show. When we talk about patience, for example, there's something different about the patience or the gentleness of somebody who's a Christian, who the Holy Spirit is working in, compared to that type of character in a non-Christian. I'm not saying the non-Christian isn't gracious, isn't patient, isn't gentle, but I'm saying the Holy Spirit produces it in us in ways that can't be produced by ourselves as non-Christians. As a non-Christian, I can be patient, I can be gentle, I can be faithful, but it's not the same as the faithfulness, the patience, etc., that the Holy Spirit produces in me. So no, the Holy Spirit doesn't produce this fruit in everybody, although everybody can exhibit something of the character of God. So I hope that clarifies that for you. It's a great question. Love to hear your thoughts on it. But that's it for now. Until next time, God bless.